Thank you for tuning in to another edition of the End of Day Report with yours truly, Dex the Algo Capitalist, aka The Vulcan, coming to you live from PulseWaveTrading.com, home of the world famous PulseWave Price Trigger reports that we place in your hand each and every day. All right, so without further ado or delay, let's jump into these charts. What do we got on and popping? What's good? What's cracking right now? Well, if you take a look at this gold futures chart, as you can see, we got another leg down today, just like I told you we would last night. More downside production as the trade is still to the sell side of the market. We've fallen below the Kumo cloud. We've fallen below the trend line support. This is technical damage on the chart. We are in official corrective territory. And now the question is, how much further will we go? You know, that's a really good question. When you say how much further can we go? When you look at the weekly chart here, you would say, okay, you got a leg down. You're official corrective territory. Yeah, we are. Yes, we are. And the trend line support down here at 1700 is your official target. Yep. 1700 is the official target for this move. I know it's a lot. Haven't had a correction back to trend line support since March the 20th of this year. So got to come back down there and deal with that before we can move forward. Not saying we're going to get all the way down the here, but we will at least get to this trend line support. That seems to be the direction that the market is heading right now on the weekly chart. All right, that's just the weekly chart. Okay, so just want to put that out there. That's what it's looking like. We're going. All right, moving right along. What else we got here? Hey, what up, man? What up, Sean, in the live chat? Go ahead and smash that like button for me. All right, so here is Ethereum. Same thing. We're falling out of the Kumo cloud. It's looking like it's trekking right here with gold, right on this daily chart. So where do we go? Well, let's just take a peek at the weekly. Taking a peek at the weekly chart, you can see here, we look like we're going to come down around the 260-ish handle. That seems to be the initial target for this move. We'll see if we get there. All right, but it's been a while. We haven't really corrected down these parts for a while, so I think this is where we're going. Yo, what up, Tom, in the live chat? What up, looks? Yeah, so this is what it is. Oh man, my bad. My bad. I'm tired, man. I know. I've been mad busy. All right, let me go back. I can't believe I'm not sharing my charts. Sharing is caring. My wife tells me all the time. So here on this Ethereum, this trend line support on the weekly chart right here is the initial target on this particular one. And right now, the bears are in control. We got a crash alert for tonight into tomorrow's trading for this one as well. Since you missed the first one, let me go back here to this gold futures chart and show you the weekly. All right, so the trend line is around here, around the 1700. This is where the initial target will be for this move, as we are now officially in a corrective state in the gold futures. All right. I know. Just hang in there with me. It's going to be all right. Traders, we make money when markets go up or down. All right, so taking a look at the daily chart now on Facebook, as you can see, a lot of downside production from the crash alert. And here we are. We came into today with a rally alert. Market tried to get up here to this trend line resistance. It tried, man. It tried. And then it lost it and sold off into the close. All right, so now we enter a weird space. Because do we continue to move sideways a bit with the bias being to the long side of the market, with bids being supported? We'll have to wait and see tomorrow. This is a good question. It's a very good question because the top of the Kumo cloud is acting as a pretty significant support at this time. Doesn't mean that we won't, fall deeper into the cloud. It just means that right now there's a question mark. It's a question mark on the daily chart. Flip it over to the weekly chart, and you got a little bit different. On the weekly chart, the bias is still to the sell side, and the trend line support down here around 220 is the initial target. So, and we're in a corrective state on the weekly as well. So very interesting the way things are shaping up on this one. All right. Yo, what up, Fast Nickel? Up in the live chat. What up? Good to have you. Smash that like button for me. All right. So our next chart here is the Litecoin. All right, and as you can see here, the trade is still to the sell side. I was correct when I told you that yesterday's trading activity was setting up the downside today, and that's exactly what's happening. So right now, rally's being sold, and the trade is to the downside on this particular one. Now, if you look to the weekly chart, because you're going to say, well, how low can we go? Well, here's your jacked up weekly chart, and the weekly chart is saying that it looks like we have a lot further that we could drop. All right, so don't shoot me. I'm just a messenger. Going over to the crude oil side, looking at ticker OIH, O to the I to the H. On the daily chart, you can see we got that downside production today after yesterday's trade setup, as we saw that coming. Just like I told you, narrow range inside days lead to the setup for the next leg down, and that's what we got. So are we going to fall further? It looks that way. All right. Looks like the oil is headed further down. But yo, Dex, what about the Q? What about the Q? Well, here's the QQQ. Yesterday's trade set up today's leg down, got more downside protection. The trade bias is still to the sell side of the market, even though we did respect the top of the Kumo cloud support. Does it mean that more selling is not forthcoming and that we won't fall further into the trend line, into the Kumo cloud? So now this target's been met. So the second target, bottom of the Kumo cloud, around the 1050-ish zone, is now in play for the QQQ. But if you flip the script over to the weekly chart, this is how it's shaping up. Trend line support is down here around the 230-ish mark. And yes, we're getting that downside production, and we are in a corrective state. So more downside looks like it is in store. Yo, but what about that S&P 500 though? What about the S&P though? Well, here on the daily chart, you can see we are nicely into the Kumo cloud. You've been in a corrective state here, and you have the bearish weekly trend momentum reading and trade bias to the sell side. Yesterday's trading activity set us up for that leg down today, and the question is going to come, well, how much further is we going to fall? Well, it's just like around the 310-ish level is where the trend line support is, so that would be the target for this move. I know, very bold predictions because of a bold positioning on the charts. What about bonds? Ticker TLT. I told you that the trade bias is still to the long side as we're moving sideways, and that's what's happening. Every little slight pullback is being bid up back toward trend line resistance, and that seems to be the tune that the market is continually singing. What about the weekly though? What about that weekly though? Same thing. Trade biases to the long side of the market. Even though you're in the Kumo cloud and obeying the overhead top of the Kumo cloud resistance zone. I know. Trade bias still to the long side of the market. I would like to say that is the Fed that is propping this market up. I think the Fed is the only person in there buying right now. All right, so let's take a look at our next one, which is Tesla. Tesla daily chart. So as you can see, we had that crash alert coming into today. And what did we get? Mad downside production. Where are we going? To around the 360-ish. That is our target on the move here. And if you want to say, well, what about that weekly though? What about the weekly? Well, on the weekly, we are in a corrective state, and we got the flip-flop. Last week, we had a rally alert coming into this week. And now we're developing, so far in this week, we're developing a crash alert for next week. That's the way it's shaping. And the trend line support is way down here around the 200 mark. That is quite a ways to fall. Looks like people are falling out of love with the Tesla. Let's see what happens. The last time we had a correction, the market was able to find its way back, as you can see here. But I don't know if we're going to wash, rinse, and repeat. We'll have to find out. I know the daily is saying otherwise, so you got to trade what you see and not what you think. All right, let's take another look at this Lululemon. All right, so here's this rally alert. We got this upside production yesterday and more upside production today. And we hit profit target at the trend line resistance. And we're not too far away from the top of the Kumo cloud. So we pretty much hit the target. The next step will be to see, are we going to try to fill in this gap here? All right, is we going to fill in the gap? Fall into the gap. Remember that old commercial? For some odd reason, I remember commercials. It's just a weird thing. Don't mind me. I remember commercials going all the way back. All right. So this is it. This is it. Are we going to fall into the gap? I don't know. All I know is right now, the trade is bid. It's the long side that's winning. All right. We got an upside bias in Lululemon for now until we don't. We're at the resistance zone. Will we crash and burn from here? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. I just know to follow the report. Whatever the report says to do, then that is what you do. How about the futures, though? What about showing the E-mini S&P 500 some love? Let's go ahead and do that right quick. We're going to show the E-mini some love. Let's see. Let's see. I'm trying. Computer's moving a little slow. Just bear with me for a second. See if I can get this mouse to move a little bit better. All right. All right. Did we even do the S&P? I'm tired. I can't remember if we talked or not. All right. I'm going to do it anyway. So here's your E-mini S&P 500 on the daily chart. Yesterday's trade setting up the downfall deeper in the Kumo cloud. Go to the weekly. All right. And you can see we are corrective. And here's your trend line support around 3,100. Ouch. I know. NASDAQ 100. Here we go. We got right here chilling at the top of the Kumo cloud. Trade is to the downside. All rallies being sold, such as yesterday, set up the trade for today. So that's just what we is. I think we're gonna fall now to the bottom of the Kumo cloud here on the daily, which is around the 10,100 mark, something like that. All right. I know. All right. See. Hands tired from breaking all that bread. I like that. Let's see here. What else we got? Okay, this is coming from the trading room. This was a request. Qualcomm, QCOM. This is a triple OG stock from the tech era of the 1990s. All right. So we got the trade buys to the downside of the market. Yesterday's upsurge set up today's down leg. Trend line support down here around the 108-ish handle is the initial support. According to the weekly chart, though, this is how we ride. $90 is the trend line support on the weekly. Is it going to get that deep? I don't know, but we have entered into corrective mode at this point. So, survey says $90 is the target on that. All right, let's take a look at silver. Silver futures, high-ho silver. All right, silver, the trade is still to the downside. That's where the bias is. Right now, we've fallen below trend line support, fallen below Kumo cloud support. We are now in free fall, like really maybe going back down into the teens. I know, man. Silver is a brutal market, man. It's a brutal market. Okay. Nah, Nicholas, I didn't hear about the Nvidia joint. You said, did y'all see the train wreck of the launch of Ampere, however you say it, PERE, how they pronounce that, from NVIDIA. Nah, I don't know nothing about that, player. I missed that. All this other stuff. I've been in the lab, man. I've been dealing with the with algos and stuff all day, so I haven't had a chance to peep that. But we can take a peek at NVIDIA though to see what's going on. All right, so your silver futures is looking whack on the daily. On the weekly, you're looking whack too. Now look at where that trend line support is on this weekly chart for the silver futures. You're stuck here around the 19, I would say about 20, around $20, $20 an ounce. All right, so that's ouch. That's ouch territory. That's a big pullback. All right, the big pullback. That's where we're going right here. I know it looks ugly. I know it looks ugly. I know it looks ugly. I know. All right, here's your Aussie. What's Aussie looking like? All right, here's the Aussie daily chart. You can see we broke trend line support, top of Kumo cloud support. Now we're in that cloud. The trade bias is still to the sell side of the market until it ain't. We're in corrective territory, and we got a bearish weekly trend momentum reading right hither. So what about the weekly chart? Weekly chart right here is showing you that the trend line support is way down hither, around the 68.87 level. I know that's way down there, right? But that looks to be where we may be headed. We might even fall down to the Kumo cloud. Remember this bearish pointer back here? I know. This was that March 20th. Remember, March 20th was a beast of a day. Well, so I got to tell you, man, that's where we going. That's what it's suggesting. I know. It's saying that all this right here is over. I know. I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. I don't know what to tell you, man. Just got to follow the reports, man. Follow the reports, player. All right, here's your Canadian dollar. Good old Canadian dollar. What saith you? All right, so you can see the trade is still to the long side of the market. Yesterday's little narrow range set up the rally today. We're headed toward the top of the Kumo cloud up here. So you technically got a little bit more headway up here you can go, but it may not stop there. I think it's going to break out of the cloud because look at this bullish weekly trend momentum reading. If that keeps up, then yeah, it's looking right. Now, if we switch it on over to the weekly chart here, you can see that we are setting ourselves up. We're getting closer to the overhead trend line resistance, but we're setting up something interesting. We could possibly be looking at a rally alert for next week, meaning that it has further it can go, which means it's going to go to the bottom of the Kumo cloud. You're looking at 138.50 to 138.90. Yeah, see, Canadian, I don't know. Canadian is telling us something, folks. I don't know. Those are the members of the PulseWave trading family. You know what that Canadian dollar represents. So is that saying, I'll give you a peek. I'll let you look up the skirt real quick. You want to look up the skirt? I'll let you peek up the skirt. What is the Canadian dollar telling us? I don't know, because you're not getting any hints on this chart. This chart is not helping you out. OIH is not helping you out. It's not going to bail you out. It's saying, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. But remember, forex is special because forex is Canadian dollar. Back to this Canadian dollar chart. Forex is twofold. Remember that. It's a currency, but again, it also is something else. Remember that. So, things to look out for coming up. What about the dollar index? No one trades the dollar index. We use it as what it is, an index. We used to trade the dollar index before ICE started bugging. So now no one trades ICE products. They trade the CME and the CBOT. All right. Where is our trade bias? To the long side of the market. We're in that Kumo cloud. What's the next target? Top of the Kumo cloud, around the 95-ish handle. I told you, man. This is some kind of a base right here, man. They're trying to run this baby back above par. All right. Remember on this day, I'm telling you right now, when I tell people what's happening in these markets, I guess people, they forget. They got short-term memories. I don't know if it's early onset Alzheimer's or what. But remember back when I told y'all that the dollar was going to go to parity and beyond, and it did? I told you that back when the chart was looking like this. Well, it's looking like this again. And right now it's setting itself up to possibly break par one more time, one more again. I know. I think we may fall short around 97, but right now it's setting up that it has the potential. I'll give it a 70 to 75% chance of hitting parity again. Based on today's market action, all things being equal, it is a possibility. It's going to at least try to run up to about 97, 97.50 before it stops and decides what it wants to be when it grows up. All right, Euro Yen. Come on, Euro Yen. Tell us what's good, man. All right, here's the Euro Yen. The Euro Yen is taking a pause, and we have this narrow range a day, but it's an inside high, not an inside low day. We took out yesterday's low, but you can see here the trade is still to the what? Sell side of the market. Green bar today sets up the down possible bar tomorrow. We need to see. If this Euro Yen falls out of bed tonight and into tomorrow's trading, then it will spell sayonara for the U.S. equity market, meaning that U.S. equity market has much further to fall. However, if the Euro Yen puts in a pivot today, if today was a pivotal day, pun intended, then the question is, okay, how much are we going to rebound, especially with the bottom of the Kumo cloud right there, staring a smack in the face. And then if you get into the Kumo cloud, well, guess what? You got the trend line resistance smacking you in the face and arcing down, which puts pressure on prices to fall even further. So are we really going to go anywhere, or do we dead cat bounce to, shake out a little some of the weaker shorts? Remember, large institutional funds have been short. They were short way up in here. All right, so now we're down here. So anyone caught short here could get a little burn temporarily, but then you reverse. And then if this thing reverses up here, the next leg down will look something like we'll be down here. We'll fall from here to way down here. All right, this has the potential to be nasty for the U.S. stock market before the year is even out. But because it's difficult to marry price and time, instead what we're looking at is the beginning of 2021. We probably won't finish all up in here until 2021. And then when January comes, we find ourselves way down, falling down here. So the first quarter of 2021 has the potential to be outlandish. I mean, like, just people think the world's coming to an end. The market just can't get up. This is what the Euro Yen may be signaling. I'm just saying. You pull up the weekly chart and it's worse. We got this crash alert right here that we have been getting nonstop downside production for the last several weeks. And we're not even at the trend line support yet. Y'all see where I'm going now? You see what I'm saying? But there's an argument to be had, even though we got the beginning stages of a bearish weekly trend momentum reading in the last one we got produced all of this leg right here, meaning that we could come right back down and drop below that Kumo cloud. An argument can be made that we're going back up to the 138-ish handle. You could make that argument right now. You really could. You really could. Because we're not there yet. But temporarily, the trade is still to the sell side of the market. Until this changes, this scenario down here is in play of where we're going. You dig? All right, thought you would. Just had to bring that up and show you. All right, our last two charts we're coming up on now. Let's see. This is Apple. All right, so on the daily chart, we have a crash alert for tomorrow's trading. I think the bottom of the Kumo cloud at around 95 is our initial target. All right, I think so. All right, let's see. Let's take a look at the weekly. And the trade bias, by the way, is to the sell side of the market too. All right, looking at the weekly chart, the week isn't over yet. But so far, we're setting up for possible rally alert with switching over, to a bullish bias on the weekly chart. Week ain't over with yet, though. But so far, that's what it's looking like. All right. Last but not least, Bitcoin. All right. Here's the daily chart on our Bitcoin. As you can see, the trade bias is still to the sell side of the market. Yesterday's market performance set up the leg down today. Question is, how much further are we going to fall? That's a good question. I don't know. I can't say, because right now we're hanging over the abyss, and there's a possibility that we could fall off this cliff. If we fall off this cliff, then the 10,500 to 10,000 is in jeopardy. But we really should just be trading inside of the $500 zone. There's a $500 zone for a base that we are supposed to be building. And that's from 10,000 to 10,500 as we range bound and build a base. And it takes time to build a base so that we can get back above the 20,000 mark. This needs to hold. All right, this base needs to hold. If the base breaks, all right, if the base breaks, then we go much lower. How much lower? Well, the trend line support on the weekly is here around the 9,000 mark. So 9,000 is a critical weekly support. All right. So you got another 1,000-point cushion between 10,000 and 9,000. 9,000 is the absolute critical base. 10,000 and 10,500 is your momentum base. All right. True base is at 9,000. Momentum base is 10,000 and 10,500. The longer we stay at the 10,000, 10,500 and don't drop below that, the stronger the base and the more longer lasting the rally once we break out back above 20,000. All right. If the 10,000 to 10,500 base does not hold and we go to that 9,000 base, that makes the conversation weaker for the Bitcoin in the near future, meaning that we may not be able to get a substantial rally until 2021. All right. Just had to give you the real. You know how we do it here. We keep it 100. All right. With that being said, man, that's all I got. That's all it is. I had to show you where we were, where we standing at, what's good, and all that good stuff. So y'all know what it is, man. Come over here and break bread with us. You know we do this thing over here for real. We don't paper trade over here. This is real money. All right. So if you want to learn how to break this bread with us, you want to be put in a position to make some money, you need to come over to PulseWaveTrading.com so you can learn how to do this. You can learn how to do it. If you know how to follow instructions, then there's no reason why you can't learn how to do this. All right. Capiche? All right, remember, you know what it is. Bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take what you can and give nothing back. And I'm out. Peace.